Howdy, folks, and welcome to a new little series here we have, and this is called "Too Long for Twitter." So this is basically just kind of podcast style sports takes that I have. It could be on anything that I decide I want to be it on. So let's just get started. In today's first episode is Trevor Story and the Red Sox middle infield situation. Now, news broke today, January 10th, January 9th, January 10th. Trevor Story's basically had some sort of Tommy John surgery and will be out for a good little while. The surgery usually takes 4 to 6 months. It said that would put him to late May to June sometime, maybe July. Red Sox had a press conference earlier today, said that they're not going to put a timetable, so it could be longer until we kind of find out how long he's going to be out for. So most of the season, maybe all the season, depending on how it goes. So what do they do from here? Now, Story, the reason why it took Story so long to sign last offseason was complaints about his arm. Now, in Colorado, he was a fine defensive shortstop, and there's a graph I saw, and if I find it, I'll put it up on screen, that showed that he threw the ball pretty well for a shortstop. Now, the last couple of years, those miles per hour have dipped, especially his last year in Colorado. Had a little bit of that those arm concerns, and that's why the Red Sox put him at second base. Also, they had Xander Bogaerts at the time. So his arm strength has been a real question the last couple of years, and especially now that he had to get surgery on it. Does this fix it up? Does this long term, maybe you bite the bullet this year, but now long term you have, he can play shortstop again? I was very wary of putting him at shortstop when Xander left. But right now you don't have a shortstop on the roster. Of the guys you can put there, it's Christian Arroyo, it's Kike Hernandez, that's it. And both of those guys missed a good amount of time, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But what move do you make to shore up shortstop and now shore up second base now? I mean, now you have two holes in the middle infield that you have maybe a fix for, but you really don't have any plans, at least right now. Let's check. Two guys that I've seen floating around on Twitter and have been Jose Iglesias and Elvis Andrus. And now those are, I guess, fine. Jose Iglesias played a decent little part in 2021. 2021 when you won 95 games. You got to went away from the World Series. He played a decent role for us in August and September as a pickup after the Orioles released him, I believe. Elvis Andrus had a decent year in Oakland last year, and I think Chicago as well. I think he's traded to the White Sox. But I mean, if that's what you got to play shortstop for you, and you had Xander Bogaerts there the last 7 years, it's definitely a downgrade. Now, the one thing I've seen a lot, and the one thing I was kind of very interested in, is trading for Ha-Seong Kim, the shortstop for the San Diego Padres. Now, there's some reasons why they would trade him, reasons why they wouldn't trade him. Reasons they would, they have a lot of depth in the middle infield. I mean, they just signed Xander Bogaerts. They have Cronenworth, who played a lot of second base. Tatis, what do they do with him? They throw him in the outfield. Manny Machado over there at third base. Ha-Seong Kim has some versatility to him, but he's not going to be an everyday player with them, barring injuries. They have a lot of those holes filled. Bogaerts rarely injured. I don't want to say rarely injured, but for the most part, especially the last few years, he's very durable. Played a lot of games at shortstop. Tatis, he had some injury bugs. He had suspension last year. Machado, I don't remember anything about him being banged up. I could be wrong. The outfield, they have Grisham. They have Juan Soto. They have probably didn't they sign Mitch Haniger, or is that somewhere else? I think Haniger went to the Angels. But they have pieces that are probably better than him starting. Now, do you keep him around? Manny Machado said that he's probably going to test free agency when his buyout or his opt-out comes this year. Do you keep him playing at third base, move Bogaerts or something, or do you jostle up that roster and keep Ha-Seong Kim there? Or do you try to get off his contract? I don't know exactly what he's making, but came from overseas, so he's making at least a decent chunk of change. Because you have to sign Juan Soto, and you just committed $300 million to Manny Machado a little bit. You just committed almost $300 million to Xander Bogaerts this past offseason. You're still paying that Eric Hosmer contract for a couple of seasons. Plus, they're pitching in Darvish, and the list goes on. You're paying a lot of players a lot of money. And I know baseball money is unlimited, but this guy's going to cost you $500 million. You need money somewhere to fill up those other positions. So do you trade him? But now that price just went up. What does that deal look like? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe a different video, we come up with some trade ideas. But yeah, what do you do now? So I think Ha-Seong Kim is the guy I would want, because right now on your 40-man roster, especially the other guys, we mentioned Kike, we mentioned Christian Arroyo, Ceddanne Rafaela, who's a big prospect everyone loves, the top 5 prospect in the Red Sox organization. David Hamilton, he was one of the guys we got for Hunter, what's his face? Not Hunter Pence, Hunter Renfroe last year from the Brewers, and Emmanuel Valdez, who's one of the returners we got from the Astros for Christian Vasquez. None of those guys are major league ready. David Hamilton, his bat isn't ready. Ceddanne Rafaela, his bat isn't ready. Emmanuel Valdez, how good of a fielder he is. He's a second baseman. He has his power. He might be the most ready out of all 3 of those guys, but I think has definitely no one I want to play at shortstop. He could come in. Maybe he has a hot Worcester April and then comes in and does well at second base, but who knows? But right now, your option is Kike Hernandez and Christian Arroyo up the middle, whether one plays second, one plays short. They both can play. Biggest issue there is Kike has proven to be one of the best defensive center fielders in the game, especially over there in Fenway. You need someone who can play good defense there. That forces basically Jarren Duran to go play a lot of innings in center field, and Duran had a tumultuous call up last year. I mean, he had that Toronto game where they put up 30 on us. He lost the ball. He's had some character issues, but he was a little whiny, a little pouty, and you can kind of not fault him because he's an athlete. He wants to do good. He wants to do better. But also, is he ready? Is he ready for the keys? Can he play long-term center field for us? Maybe. Would I want him playing a lot of 140 games in center field? No, I would not, especially if you think this team can make the playoffs, and I selfishly do. I think that now that Story's gone, are they? I don't know. There's a lot going on here. Who knows? So those are your options. So that takes Kike away from center field. Also, both were on the IL for a while last year. Kike missed most of. I think he went down in May and then didn't come back until after the All-Star break or something like that. He missed a good chunk of the season, the middle of the season last year. Christian Arroyo for the last 2 years has been on and off for a week here, 2 weeks there, 3 weeks there, a month here. He's taken at least 3 or 4 trips to the IL in the last 2 years. So now the 2 guys that you have there that were supposed to shore up your middle infield now are injury risks. So now those guys could be healthy and you could be fine. You could be like, all right, cool, that wasn't that big of a deal. But they also could be hurt. And now who do you put out there? I mean, Story already was an injury risk. He was banged up a couple times last year. So what do you do? Again, Rafaela and Hamilton and Valdez aren't ready right now. So in the case that one of them get hurt, who's your backups? Bobby Dahlbeck, who played a couple innings at shortstop last year. Is he your backup shortstop right now? Is Justin Turner, you're going to throw him at second base? He has played second base. Connor Wong played infield in college, I think. But is he going to play second? Right, obviously a move will be made, and those we're not going. Hope we're not going into spring training with that as our options. But I don't know. It sucks. It is what it is. But right now, the middle infield situation for the Red Sox is scary, and something that already was the glaring hole on the team without Trevor Story being hurt is now the glaring hole on the team times 2. I thought Story was going to have a bounce back season. And this is what you lose Bogey, and now everything goes, everything goes down the toilet. So maybe I'll have a video talking about my thoughts on Xander Bogaerts leaving soon. But anyway, guys, thank you all for listening. Tell me how you like this. This is something that I talked about kind of bringing to the channel in my update video. If you didn't watch that, go watch that. It's a couple videos ago. I'll probably link it down in the description. What are your thoughts? What do you think the Red Sox should do? Do you think they're screwed? Do you think there's some hope? Do you think there are some situations and possibilities that I didn't bring up that they could see, that you could see happening, that you want to kind of bring to my attention? So make sure to comment down there. Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe. All that fun stuff. In the description, you follow my Twitter, where I post sports takes that are long enough for Twitter. Also my broadcasting channel as well. Just go around the channel, look around. I have some cool stuff, some things I'm doing. So again, thank you guys all for supporting, and we'll see you next time here on Tisbury 33 Games. I'm Cody Shalfu.